The madness of London roads means it's just taken me 20 minutes to get to Euston from Euston. That's right, you drive straight past Euston in your Uber and you go round and round in circles for 20 minutes until you finally get back here, having passed numerous do not entry roads where they're building things. Last episode got an enormous amount of reaction. I think probably because I was talking about various stars from the 60s, John Lennon, George Harrison and so on. Well, of course, those of us who were lucky enough to start our careers in the 60s, mine began when I was a teenager writing and singing Everyone's Gone to the Moon, which then turned into a hit in 1965. But a lot of the people who were trying to make it in the 60s didn't do so until the 70s, such as Paul Gadd, who was the warm-up man on Ready Steady Go in the 60s, changed his name to Gary Glitter and became huge in the 70s. Mark Bolan, who was with John's Children in the 60s, didn't make it, finally became a huge star in the 70s with T-Rex. Rod Stewart, Elton John. When I first knew Rod Stewart, he was a grave digger. So I thought this time I'd go through some of those stars of the 70s, particularly somebody who I supported in the 1960s but was a total failure then. Luckily, the scene cleared because a lot of the 60s pop stars got families, bought houses, stopped writing hits, and I have to say started taking drugs and drinking too much, and faded from the scene, allowing people like David Bowie to emerge. So more about David Bowie in a moment. Far bigger than David Bowie or Mark Bolan or Rod Stewart or Elton John or anyone at the time were the Bay City Rollers, who I first produced with this big hit. They couldn't really play their instruments, so I used all session musicians, and only the lead singer, Nobby Clark, sang on it. There were 13 Jonathan King vocals. As you watch this silly old queen hopping off to do some quick shopping, listen to Keep On Dancing by the Bay City Rollers, my first hit with them.
Now keep on dancing, keep on doing the jerk. Shake it, baby. Come on and show me how you work. Now you're in motion, dancing in a prance of emotion, yeah. Dancing in a prance on hurry me away. Dancing in a prance of the pain. Keep on dancing and a prancing. Keep on dancing and a prancing. Keep on dancing and a prancing. Keep on dancing, dancing and a prancing, jerk right.
David Bowie put out a record in the 1960s on Pi, on the Pi label, called I Can't Help Thinking About Me. I loved it and wrote a large column about it saying this kid will be a star in my column, which I think at the time was in Music Echo, might have been Disc and Music Echo, that I wrote for at the time. David was incredibly grateful and came round and visited me. He was living with his manager, a man called Ken Pitt, around the corner. David was very much one of the new androgynous pop stars, basically wearing makeup, proving to be or claiming to be bisexual. It was the liberation that we started in the 60s. David was a very sweet guy, very nice man. He fancied me like mad, desperately wanted to have sex with me. But actually, I knew he didn't. It was really a career move for him. He wasn't interested. He thought it would help his career. Well, I didn't fancy him at all. One, he had really bad teeth. Two, he had eyes of different colour, which was definitely peculiar to me. And three, I really have never been interested in having sex with somebody who basically wanted it as a career move rather than wanting it for their own satisfaction and pleasure. And I never have had. So as a result, I didn't, but we became good friends. He was actually a terrible pest. He got involved with somebody who was in the mime business and was doing miming. You remember all that stuff when you pretend walls and all, Marcel Marceau and all of that? I remember one night I was fast asleep and he called me and he said, "Oh, please come and watch my act in Golders Green." I think he was with somebody called Lindsay Kemp at the time. "Nobody's here and you must come and see it." He went on and on, so eventually I got dressed, drove all the way out to Golders Green, watched this ghastly mime act, all that rubbish. But I remained a good friend and I promoted him like crazy. And sure enough, eventually he did become a big star. Mark Bolan was another one who pretended to be bisexual, but really wasn't. Again, it was all a career move. I think he was called Mark Feld when I first met him in the 60s. Nice kid, in a group called John's Children. I knew several people who he did have sex with, several men who he had sex with. His particular taste was for, shall we say, giving oral satisfaction to certain gentlemen, but it was always in order to promote his career, and I thought, no, that's not a good idea. And again, I rejected any kind of sexual contact with him, but we were friends. I liked him. I thought he was very talented, and indeed he became a huge star in the 70s with T-Rex and a load of hits before he died tragically very young. Yes, we had our tragedies back then as well. Tragedies are still going on in the world. Isn't it sheer madness what's going on in the Middle East, in Gaza and Israel? It's sort of you started it first. I'm going to get my own back, sort of playground rubbish. Hamas, who are a terrorist organisation, started it off this time around, using as their justification or excuse that Israel had behaved very badly. I think hundreds of thousands of settlers had moved into the Palestinian West Bank and things like that in the past. The United Nations resolutions had been ignored by Israel. Anyway, Hamas then went into Israel and killed 1,000 people. Also captured a few hostages as well. So Israel said, we're going to get our own back. And they went into Gaza and killed 10 times as many innocent civilians, 10,000 I gather, and bombed the place and caused havoc and misery. Hamas, of course, if they've got any sense, have already shipped out probably 10 three-man kind of suicide squads, hit squads, who've been living in nearby countries, Egypt and Lebanon and Syria and Turkey and places. and who probably moved back into, I would suspect, Tel Aviv, fully intending to kill 10 times as many Israelis in Tel Aviv. That'll be 100,000 they'll kill. And Israel, of course, will get its own back by killing half the population of Gaza. That's about 1 million people. And Hamas will then get their own back probably by getting nuclear weapons from Iran or Russia or somewhere else and bombing Israel and killing 10 million Israelis. It's bonkers. Both sides are behaving like terrorists or spoilt children. Both should stop now.
A real tasty geezer. He's grown his hair a bit, but it's smooth, not too long. And he wears a baseball shirt with a number 17 on. He looks great in his big white basketball boots. He's stupid over football and he looks me in the eye when he shoots. Reggae, reggae, reggae. Here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, reggae, lay it on me. Reggae, reggae, reggae. Here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, reggae, lay it on me. He'll always start a fight for me. He's always on the phone. At the dance hall in the evening, he'll always take me home. In his fringe and buckle stompers, and his two-tone tonic strides. He's a real tasty geezer, and I'm his here inside. Reggae, reggae, reggae. Here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, reggae, lay it on me. Reggae, reggae, reggae. Here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, reggae, lay it on me. Reggae, reggae, reggae. Here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, reggae, lay it on me. Reggae, reggae, reggae. Here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, reggae, lay it on me. Johnny Reggae! Reggae, reggae, reggae. Here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, reggae, lay it on me. Reggae, reggae, reggae. Here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, reggae, lay it on me. Reggae, reggae, reggae. Here comes Johnny Reggae. Johnny Reggae, reggae.
I've shown you examples in earlier shows of my songwriting abilities, if you could call them abilities. I've always, I think, been rather better at lyrics than I am at melodies, but I've had quite a lot of hits in my so far 78 years of life. I think the first hit I had, Everyone's Gone to the Moon, wasn't at the time quite a revolutionary lyric. People were writing love songs then. Very few were writing lyrics like streets full of people all alone, roads full of houses never home. It was Bob Dylan and Leonard Cohen and Joni Mitchell and a few great lyricists, but I was one of the few English ones. A year ago, in November 2022, I set off in my Rolls Royce, which I'm in now, on a journey down to Marrakesh in Morocco, planning to do a series of 13 shows, mainly about travel, but also opinions and various other things, as I drove from London through France and Spain, across to Morocco and back again. But it went down so well and so many people really seemed to enjoy it that I kept going, and we've now covered 55 or 56 shows. And I'm off again, leaving rather rainy, miserable, cold London at the end of November and heading off back down to Marrakesh in the Rolls. Hopefully I'll reach there again, and then coming back and hopefully giving you sights of the cities I'm in as I travel through them, the places I visit, various opinions and things, thoughts on TV shows and films and stage plays and movies. As long as you're interested in hearing them, I'll keep doing them. This is A Victim Bites Back.
fatty boom boom, the sweet sugar dumpling. Hey fatty boom boom, let me tell you something. No, not because you're so big and fat. Don't believe I'm afraid of that. Self-praise is no recommendation. I'm looking for creation. Hey fatty boom boom, the sweet sugar dumpling. Hey fatty boom boom, let me tell you something. To me that look like mouse on a $1 bread. I wouldn't stop trying till I drop down dead. Never let your big size fool you. The cooler day of the cool you. That look like a mouse on a $1 bread. I wouldn't stop trying till I drop down dead. Never let your big size fool you. The cooler day of the cool you. Hey fatty boom boom, with sweet sugar dumpling. Hey fatty boom boom, let me tell you something. I say not because you're so big and fat. Don't believe I'm afraid of that. Self-praise is no recommendation. I'm looking from creation. Hey fatty boom boom, sweet sugar dumpling. Hey fatty boom boom, let me tell you something. Hey fatty boom boom, with sweet sugar dumpling.